All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the TPN TV and Radio Network. Today we get two segments where, oh man, I forgot the other laptop. All right, we'll continue for, I will bring in the laptop for make I able to monitor the people waiting on Facebook and social media, so I will able respond to them. But as we all know, today we get two important things we want for, talk about. And it got to do with the coronavirus. Let's start with the coronavirus first. Let me go back. Let's start with the coronavirus first. And as we all know, say, in Sierra Leone, the trend is going up. And now we get about 46 people that we don't die from the coronavirus. And out of the 852 people that we got infected, then about 415 people then we don't recover from the virus. And waiting we're supposed to open and waiting we're not supposed to open. Because if we start for open, well, see, this is very, very confusing. It's very, very confusing. The reason why I say this is very, very confusing is when you also take a look at the structures where the country they use for fight coronavirus, it is not necessarily a kind of a complete lockdown, right? Like where we get in America, we get certain sectors of societies, certain sectors of businesses where they operate, they function the way it's supposed to function. Only essential people. I don't think say that is the same thing when it comes to coronavirus na salon. I don't think so at all. So when the government say it want for open section of the community, then I just think which section of the community actually we been close, because what I understand. Oh boy, people are texting. Okay, guys, hold on now. Give me a chance, or let me bring this woman, this pretty face lady, bring me laptop for because the people they're waiting at social media, they text me. I don't know what they say. I don't know what they want, but I think I need for monitor the social media. So I did open my laptop now for make I able monitor my other laptop for make I able monitor social media. So what we will try to talk about, hello guys, the section of society when at the business section. I don't know. I don't really know if that section they close totally, because they see most of the actual lockdown sometimes only take 3 days. Then gets district lockdown right now where they go on, which is very, very great. But it's district lockdown. It's not like individual people there for make them sit on at their house. No, that's not actually the case here. So I am just wondering when they see they want for open certain section of the economy, what it actually mean. Maybe my commentators they then go able for give me a little bit of understanding. Maybe some of them then get a good understanding than me in terms of this coronavirus in Sierra Leone and how, and how the government is trying to open a certain section of the economy for make it come back to normalcy. I don't know. The government announced they want to open certain section of the economy. Okay, I know why. Somebody just texted me say it's the airports. So we all know say the airport was actually locked down, so no flight no they come in. and go out. Okay. At this time, is the government really confident for say now they can open the airport and start for bringing people from outside? Probably that's they try to talk about, and we know say the airports they generate a lot of income na that area there. So okay. Americano, let me bring you calm. Just go off. I will bring you calm. So the airports is one of the economies where the government plan for open. I know. I know because me they look at the way the country is structured in terms of this coronavirus, and I know see. Americano, I call you, you call me.
Have reached the voicemail box of 614.
You don't need to call me again. If you see, I put you off.
4722.
Right, hold on, guys. Sorry, guys.
At the tone, please record.
Okay. Until Americano steady, I know I'm calling in. They call me, then they go on voicemail. I know it's very, very embarrassing. So the way I see the government of Sierra Leone, they face the coronavirus at this particular time, with the exception of the airports, international borders, the airports in particular. I know say certain districts, and they go freely within the district, but the only thing, okay, now let me call Americano, maybe you don't steady, but maybe they not agree for make them people then go from one district to another. No, so that means even though the economy is still working as it is, but it is based on segments, district by district. Tonkolele, they do their own commerce within Tonkolele. They can go any village and can go any town within Tonkolele and sell and buy and do stuff. But they need agree for make then go outside of Tonkolele for going to another district. And which it makes sense in some cases, in some instances, it really makes sense. And the airport is the one of the most when they say internationalized economy. So those are some of the people, the economy where I feel say people then they text me. So sorry guys, I did read the text and they try to explain. It's very, very interesting. So these are some of the things where I believe say now in the government they talk about. But say the airport is going to open, and certain sectors like I don't know if the mining industry actually was locked. I don't know because people like Crystal will get brothers and sisters way in Nakono and way involved in mining, and I know say it's still going on. So we know that. The petty traders, they are still selling stuff, which is the local economy. It's still selling stuff. But like I said, I don't think say it is time for open the international airports because we still see an increase in cases of the coronavirus. We get 852 infected confirmed cases. We get 46 dead, and we get 415 recovered out of 10 cases then day. But let me give you a statistics in terms of Africa. Well, not necessarily. I want for Maker in terms of we neighbors because these are some of the people where we they look up to. Okay, here is the funny thing. I don't know if Liberia they actually test people them, but when I remember right, Liberia been get more cases than Sierra Leone, and at this time we don't surpass Liberia. Liberia get 280 cases in Liberia, then get about 27 deaths. So Liberia says we don't surpass Liberia in terms of the confirmed cases and in terms of the death rates. And now we go to Guinea, because that's also now we neighbor, right? So let me scroll down for make I able get Guinea. I believe say Guinea is probably more than Liberia. Probably Guinea is more than Sierra Leone even, because if you look at what they go on Guinea right now, I see a lot of chaos in Guinea. We don't see violence protests in Guinea, because to the Guinean people, well, the government starts with encouraging people then for make them go their own way, their own business freely, and they realize, well, that was a mistake, and now they want for lock the people, and the people they resist. They say no, they don't want for make the government lock them. So Guinea the type of fence, so I don't see Guinea-Bissau. So people then protest in the street, and casualty actually take place na them protest then day, because the Guinean people not just believe say there is a need for them for make them protest, for make them lock them down, as compared to Sierra Leone and Liberia, But the government was actually responsible for that, because if during the time when the coronavirus starts in Guinea, and the government come out and try for fight corona genuinely, then therefore we don't sensitize the people and say, you know what, this is a disease that is very, very dangerous, so therefore we they do everything it takes for make sure say we fight this disease and take certain measures. Tell this the Guinean people then say we get for lock una down and for make sure say everybody. But the Guinean government don't do that. The Guinean government tell people. In fact, there was a time when the Guinean government said they substitute transportation for people then for make the then travel. And as a country we all know say it just people like Salon about 60% illiterate. People then go just say, well, maybe the government don't, if people like when you don't get business too much, profits now your business and you want for share the profits with you work as them. So Guinean people they feel say that money where they give them now, because the Guinea government don't do so much and the profit that one is. So now when they say, you know what, it's time for America to go sit down now house, they say no way. So
so far so good, Greg. How about you?
all right, Americano, make sure Americano, mute you.
Yeah, I see her every day. She's tough for that.
Americano, they pull you off if you not mute your phone. Okay.
Oh yeah, once the summer is here.
All right, you get for go first. I will bring you come back when you're ready. Okay, I don't see Guinea. Oh wow. I don't finally see Guinea. Guinea get 3,656 cases. 3,656 cases. Now Guinea. And the surprising thing here is they only get about 22 deaths. and then get about 1,286 recovered. All right. Well, it depends, how a country they consider corona deaths. That's also another thing, because when we see what we see in China, not to everybody we suspected coronavirus death then count as coronavirus death. Who knows? But out of 3,600 cases, now 22 deaths only. That in itself is suspicion. But that's the updates for the coronavirus in Sierra Leone. As I say, 852 cases as of today, and for the 6 deaths, 415 recovered. And the government of Sierra Leone wants to open the country to the economy of the country. Again, we don't know why they feel confident that it is now time for open that. We will monitor the situation. Now, let me go to, I don't know if my commentator wants to say anything on this before we move to the next segment, when the release of Sylvia Blyden. So I'll go on. Let me bring in Mr. Cabo again, Americano again. Hopefully, he don't go for talk. I don't know if my commentators want to say something. If they want to say something, Mr. Abdul, you want to say anything on this topic? Mr. Abdul. All right, let me go to Bami. Bami.
Mr. Makuta, hold on for the other commentator there.
Okay.
And shed some light on this issue so I can follow up.
You have reached the voicemail box of
61480. Now in the call so. Oh no, Adams now. London. Adams, just turn off the phone. I will call you back. Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me just call Adams quick. Adams don't take. Almost since the elections, we then go pass and pandemic. It's so busy. Okay. So this is some of the things. Okay, Mr. Cabo, you want to say something?
Are you coming back to the topic, or
no? I say, if you get comment on the coronavirus on Salon before we go to the next topic, when Sylvia Blyden in release one.
Yeah, I understand. I think you are talk about the economy with regards to the closure.
Yes,
some of those things.
Yeah. So I say the government announced they want to open the country, certain section of the country, the economy, and I say if I don't know the confidence we then get for make them open some of them sectors while the coronavirus they go up every single day. So you get any comments on that?
Yeah, I do. The only problem I have is, Mr. Mankota, I want to get it clear. If that is the end of the deliberation, or you want all members to deliberate on that, that's what I mean. Or you coming back to it after, before it after Sylvia Blyden. I don't know. Okay, now let me say what I want to say. Yeah, we know the coronavirus is going on, and also we all know, as the saying goes, life must also go on. Should we just sit down and fold our arms and stay with the fear, and even though the people are dying and so on and so forth? No, there should be other things that are also put together. I think if the economy is going to open, and I think it should, but I think you were not sure what the president meant, so that's why I was looking at what actually wants us to deliberate on, because you are
because what happen? I don't know because he just say they want to open the economy, and I realized say, well, was there any closure of the economy? Then another person, somebody, one of the listeners, text me say it might be the international airports. You know, say them close the airports, right? So Naya make us say, oh, okay, maybe that is the one for open the airports for make passenger planes then begin come back to the countries or something like that. So yeah.
Well, in my own little way, I will, as a Sierra Leonean concerned Sierra Leone, I will open this dialogue by saying that if the economy is going to open, it's a good thing for the economy to open. And if somebody is asking what kind of economy was the economy closed, technically, yes, it was closed because the coming of the coronavirus has an impediment on the psychological business part of the nation, the economy, the economic part of the nation.
True.
In the sense that, if you are buying and selling, which is part of the development of Sierra Leone, they withdraw a little bit. Your mindset will change. And you, first of all, you cannot travel. Most of the business is local, more so local or I could say international, because people cross to Guinea, the Gambia, Ghana to import, to buy goods and bring them to Sierra Leone. Mm-hmm. And that was hindered. So your question of saying you don't know which part of the economy was closed looks like, but I try to entangle that for you. Those areas were closed. Everybody, even though everybody's mind was has changed based on the development of the country. Mm. And even within the locals in the country, just mentioned that Makeni cannot go to Kono cannot go to Kabbalah cannot go to Kutloko. Mm-hmm. So all those are economic barriers. So and it's important that life has to go on. Are we going to stay in that nature? Now, even import and export was under hindrance. And even so, not only to speak about import and export, where we get most of the revenue and the economy in Sierra Leone, which we can boost better, it's even a problem. Now, look at even the Ministry of Finance. They will have plans, but they cannot execute the plans to revamp the economy. So all those things were in a hole. Now, you just mentioned about the airport. All those things were in a hole, even not in complete hole, but there are certain benchmarks people have to consider because of the economy. Yeah. So if the president is coming in and encourage the people and give them assurance that we cannot just sit down like that and fold our hands, even in the middle of this epidemic, we have to do something. The only thing I'm looking forward to is the logistics in which he's going to do that and how to keep the people safe. Those are the things I'll be questioning about. Because when the epidemic started in China, where I believe it does a lot of destruction, before you know, in a few months, they open the economy. And it depends on the country. The people have to abide by the rules and regulations. When short things come, the Department of Health or Ministry of Health, the government, the leaders, the chiefs, the concerned, the Sierra Leoneans, the parents, everybody's responsibility is to abide by rules and regulations. And when once you abide by them, then the business could flow. In America here, where we are, we have what we call the 6 feet distance and a mask. You go to the bank, you want to go do your business, you be online. 6 feet apart, you see the line from end to end. People are waiting, and they call you one by one to go in. You have your mask. If you don't have a mask, you can't go there. Okay. And those are the strategies the government put in place. If you want to enter a cab or taxi, you have to have a mask because you have to go to your business.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you. I was just concerned about the confidence way the government gets for beginning open sectors of the economy. But
they can emulate. Those are the things. Within our local communities, how can we do it? Even the farmers, we have people who go in groups to do farming.
True.
True. They go like 10, 20, 30, they can separate them. And look at another very important situation that came in where the imams went to see the president to make sure that they can open, or the Christians to open the churches for prayer. What did he say? He said, go and give me a plan that will assure the safety of the people. So I think he's open to that. So I think even with the Minister of Finance or the communities or the aviation and all those things, they have their plans coming. The president is going to look at them and review them and make sure they are safe. Because we cannot just sit down and fold our hands. We have to eat. The people have to survive.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree. I totally agree with you, Mr. Kabo. The only thing we have been confused which type of the economy. But after a few texts from the listeners, and I realized, oh, okay, this is. So we just the hope say the governments while they try for open then sectors in the inter-district commerce, then will also control the flow of people and social distancing way very, very vital. But the thing they go on. Let me go to Adams Bangura from UK. Welcome back. It's been a long time when we miss you, man. So how you do?
Good. I'm doing good, man. Good.
Yeah.
You know, I actually became follow, but I can miss most of the time of the program.
Okay.
You know, thanks to the team for holding on the fort.
Okay. So what's in your contribution for today about the coronavirus na salon and the government want for open business na salon? If you get any.
Well, to be honest, as it is now, there is no alternative. Open business, government just need to make sure they do it in phases. It has to be done in phases because we not even know whether they don't reach the peak or they don't pass the peak rate. Because I mean, not so like the West, where you get the experts and then will show you how do you call it, the curve of the epidemic, what scale it on there, and when you approach the peak stage or whichever stage where the peak the fight there now. Unfortunately, we never get that in the salon for the getting that daily updates there. However, life will for go on at some point.
Yeah.
So always me things say they need to do, and for make them put proper mechanisms in place. As we do at the West now, you go to some stores, if you don't get your mask, they don't allow you to go inside and do business.
Yeah.
So some way, somehow, I think they need to make them put mechanisms in place.
So
that's the only way where you go able to begin to get at least partial economic activities.
So here,
even though we're not able to get full economic activities, but somehow partial economic activities will begin.
Yeah. So here is the thing. I think because I understand the government don't institute law where they mandate people before you go out you get for wear mask. But here is the problem because the way I see certain mask where the people they wear it they give a sense of a false sense of protection. For example, you just go take cloth or this ordinary cloth and you make a mask, you put them. And most of the time, according to the expert, they know say some of them clothes, then they know they protect you because the year they go through. So I don't know if that is enough, because when I wear clothes, especially light cloth, I feel say I'm protected, but in reality I'm not protected.
Well, I agree with you in that. But again, I think the communication expert and within the government sector, therefore coming, help for educate the people. If you do a homemade mask on a cloth, for make them tell you what kind of cloth will you need, we go help you in a way for protect. If you have to double the sewing of the cloth, make sure they then double and rather than just do a single strip. All now and then it's all as a result of how government communicates the messages to the people, because that's the key. That's the most important thing. I know the associated inconveniences that is involved in it, but now this not to like the dry season. If I've been dry season, people go the grumble say, hey, place hot there and there. But now that the rainy season to the approach, so which is much more easy for them to make them able to get it done. But it's all in the detail. How government will communicate them for make sure people adapt to them practices and this. But unfortunately, even then the government practitioners, etc. Sometimes you watch TV that you see how man they mask themselves and uplift it. It's laughable. It's not something that should be seen to be funny. Because you're supposed to cover your nose downwards, man from the nose everything they expose out.
Yeah.
So when a person is sneeze now, if he get the virus, there's every tendency now say if somebody they are within that vicinity, there's a possibility of them catching it.
Yep.
Or if they talk, you know, I mean, a person speaks by himself there and there, man, they talk, a person get to put a mask down and chin, and they talk all that kind of stuff in it. So the communication is actually lacking, to be honest. You know, these are the reasons why they may get for pull and they bring Solomon Jamil for help for helping information dissemination. He's trying, but he's not. It's just not good enough. Because when you do that thing, and you always get from HUC, you bring in the experts them on board. Yeah, then party of the world. When will they get with daily briefing? Not only government functionaries that you see, but you see the people who win and then the champion the fight. They also did it on the medical side. So you give that appearance of a fact. Not to just government spin doctors. You get independent people who are professionals in their own field. Like you get the Dr. Fauci in America. When they tin up, even if government information machinery, you know, it seems not be credible, but when Fauci talk, the American people, they listen. Because they know say it's the voice of conscience, and then he speaks to the, you know, to the mindset of the people, make the people understand the consequences of not obeying certain rules. But you go get a government spokesman or government machinery, we don't use for trial all kinds of lie for making government look good. When I person they go talk, the next thing is where the level will corona day. Even when it is there. But when you get a trusted expert's voice go and talk, then people will believe, they will listen. Here in the UK, very little thing with Prime Minister go get for say where people will believe. But when the experts then talk, because we know it's not a layman, but when the experts then talk, will they listen and will believe them? That's how it works everywhere.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Now let me go to the next topic, which is very, very important. I want to spend a little bit of time because a lot of people when they talk about this, I think was it yesterday or so, or day before yesterday, we all know say this woman, some of you know Sylvia Blyden, this woman we wanna see in the picture, so they may arrest them. And a lot of we don't know where to make the arrest them. And you know, they na jail for quite a while. I think 2 weeks or if I remember.
24 or 5 days or so.
25 days, nearly a month. And
yeah.
Yesterday or day before yesterday, I think they released them. And we want to know what Sylvia actually do where they arrest them. And when we look at this government, we know saying a government we believe in transparency based on their own statements, which they talk. For say they believe in transparency. And transparency, like always what they talk, not to words alone. Transparency, we not get actions. You know, they go follow with action, now a meaningless transparency. And we know say Sylvia Blyden are one of the opposition members, the APC members. So if they arrest them, the government's need for tell we, number one, why they arrest Sylvia Blyden for almost a month, then yesterday, then release them, and we don't know, a lot of we don't know. Maybe some people in the commentary section, they know that if they know, then they can't tell me. But me know nothing. Any tangible reason why I don't try for call the government or spokespeople. Some of them then tell me say, well, now an active investigation, so they're not able to comment on the air. So nothing like that. Actually, I don't get any clue why they arrest Sylvia Blyden. And if they just release them, that in itself is suspicious because at least if you arrest somebody, you charge them. Okay, I don't know if they don't charge them. I don't know because I don't try for. Because when they try for investigate something like this, I did try for reach out to the people that were actually responsible. But unfortunately, with all the transparency talk with these governments, they tout out there, the government is very, very opaque in many, many, many cases. You know, especially when dealing with the opposition, they're very, very opaque. So we need to know why they arrest Sylvia Blyden. Then the other thing I want for now we talk about is this a promotion for Sylvia, irrespective of the suffering we don't go through? But does this actually elevate Sylvia in your status na the national politics more than the way it been there? Because now, if indeed they not charge them, then just hold them, then she is a victim. In rights has been tampered with. And, say, a lot of people there, they don't want for make the government, they just go around and hold people them and lock people them up and without any tangible reason or any charges, especially you hold somebody for more than 72 hours, without charges. That in itself is a violation of human rights. So now this I want for now we discuss. But we start with Mr. Abdul. Mr. Abdul, you still there? I know you did, but
yeah, I did.
So what are you take on the entire episode where we see on Sylvia in arrest one and subsequent release 20-something days later without knowing anything?
Well, thanks, Mr. Mankota. Well, anybody go baffled, based on waiting the news that will be again as alone, you are right that the government not able to tell we up to now the crimes where Sylvia commit. Now, assumption no more and innuendos where people then they make up or understand that if those innuendos are correct, one way actually not they around, but then they talk within the corridors of SLPP, only now that they find out it's not true. Then we really feel say Sylvia are one of the people where they give Adebayo information there. If you go back and listen to the interview of AYV where Sylvia Blyden and host in Radio Armenian Soiree, where indirectly she was referencing about this person, the third person or fourth person will get corona. We need to know, and Sylvia started quoting from the Constitution that it is responsibility of the public for tell the citizen about what they go on.
Yeah.
And second, then believe say the way Sylvia was talking, yes, he want put in elevating himself na the limelight, and this government they don't want somebody where they criticize them. They just want either you keep quiet, and which is very unfortunate because and remember the last time we discussed about this when the whole follow, me and you turned the table around on this radio. I began questioning you since you are an APC executive member in America, and most of them within at the corridors of power. Back then, you have their phone numbers. I said, what is happening? Because, the APC is just dumb silent. I can go back today and repeat the same thing because comparatively, when Lima being get an issue with where them be Ola, you see a whole chunk of Prince Harding and all the other APC Alaba, then they go na side where they say they want Lima for go turn itself. Even when they return them, we understand through back channel since Benjamin, Prince Harding, these are friends with Anes Kuruma, and they say no, we not left the bobo. Then for me clear they sensitize and no more. They kept it up and about a week or some days, they left them. That is absent here today with the APC leadership. Then just become mute and dumb. And I agree, you be don't tell me say perhaps everybody they afraid because this white paper or whatever we don't happen, everybody they afraid to say anything because this person don't know if he will be the next person. So if you look at from the time where they hold Palo and criticizing really the government, Sylvia are the only person who stick in neck because as far as he's concerned, the commission of inquiry, whatever people they will submit, they are clean, at least. So those way they feel say either they are answered clean or maybe the SFPP go manufacture evidence where go show say they're not clean, then say nothing last zip me more. So I think that puts Sylvia in the predicament we saw it is so today. You clearly stated that our constitutional rights have already been violated. This government already don't violate them. So in the event crisis for us alone, I believe say any serious international body, these are one of the areas that we then go look into. Going back to the constitution, say they're not for the whole more than 72 hours, they're not charged. And of course, I'm not going to mention the stupid thing where the CID head, they talk about the picture of Hannes and Sylvia. So I think say they're not really free and age, then just get and bail, if you understand. The young Bobo, I think he did first or second year na Frabe College we na in era boy we can food for them with them all. I think they then just release them on bond. I don't know if the case completely don't close. If the case don't close, then say they not really get no charges against them. then, I mean, you and I know and other listeners here, if America, yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe the police have the right to hold you while investigating, but not to the way they do. At least they forget evidence where then they show to a judge, where the judge go really say, yes, there is a necessity for old Abdul while this investigation is going on. Absence of that in Sylvia's case, if we are to take it to Sierra Leone, then I think say it gets a case for me. And in the event something happen at Sierra Leone, wherein they go and hold the mother be responsible, these are areas there we then go look into. Because if rumors have it correctly, we know that Lima behind the scene was really pushing for, I mean, arresting Sylvia. And in fact, Lima came on radio. One of the interview on radio on tape or something, he alluded around that area that this government for hold Sylvia. So it's not like a hidden thing that, I mean, the say, and you can't deny the fact. Name me all the APC solvers their way down at Salon. From an escromantic and would have been they go now interview, they challenge this government. Not Sylvia. None of them. None, absolutely. But again, that's Nine can say, these don't embolden the SFPC, and some of us were close to them, married inside their home, go to their house, eat day, sleep day, like the Southeast. I mean, they just feel say, Mother Bio is the recipe where APC need. That it all overthrown them when he was a military guy, and it don't publicly say, I know what I do 1996 where SFPC come back my power, so now for reward me. And me are the only person where we choke APC, then just wake up and do nothing. And it is showing now. So therefore, I hate to say this, that if this is the trend where the APC go continue, again, if you talk to them behind the scene, I mean, former ministers, them, they go tell you, oh, well, we don't want to let Fed kind of the country, we want big SLPP at the poll, this now
let me come back. Let me come back to you. Let me come back to you. Let me go back to Mr. Kabo. Mr. Kabo, Bami. Now we're not talking. Bami, based on what you hear from Mr. Kabo and the circumstances surrounding Sylvia in arrest one and in subsequent release, is there any thing where you think say na in Sylvia doing a bad thing where he warrants an arrest and detained for 24 days or so?
Ankota, what make I able to talk better today because all them behavior and they will see a violation of the human rights of the humans, the people in the opposition party. Me not in Sierra Leone, I don't know, but based on the information the whole area, then they assess then they allege say subversion and cyber crimes where they still investigate. This is what I don't understand because when we all follow and we look at the situation, they arrest the person, then they go to a house, they go search without the person all the day. So it's very confusing, Mr. Mankota. And then look at when they try for bailout. I don't know if you're going to help me with that. How you go bail somebody, you ask for shorty, then you ask for building permit. Are you building a house or the house already did it? Why would one need a building permit? So the confusion is so bokuda, some of we don't even understand again what people happen. Me, the only thing we need to say, just when you mentioned, say the minister and they talk, say, or some old APC man and they say, oh, no one problem. The APC man and they for common at the APC action plan because you know what thing they don't fit matching. Now me believe say the APC organization for focus on building themselves and pay attention properly how they go move the party forward because all the games that we SLPP then they play right now, they are losing the battle because they don't get evidence for they go and harass them people them. And anybody now in right mind go agree with most people and say the APC party, the opposition don't hold the ground, they don't try to calm themselves down. So the only thing we make advise them for do you ask now for always talk what we go on. But I believe say the lady is a strong lady. And I believe say will continue for fighting battle and expose what I get for expose. Because we cannot then a country where you go get nobody will checkmate the government of the day. It don't make sense.
So the problem here is as we all study African politics and African dictatorship throughout the years, Sylvia is in a more disadvantaged position because number one, and now I'm strongly as a person in a cybersecurity person, she's been monitored and probably harassed and maybe try for silence her. I don't know how he was able to survive doing what he been do before, or he decide for settle down and
remember saying the woman a journalist get a journalistic book.
We know that.
So if he have that, I don't think to say the government of the day go suppress him for that. That's a blatant violation. Now that's not the problem with the SLPP they face.
I agree.
And then they continue to expose themselves on those lines.
I agree.
And
I totally agree with you.
Continue to say, and we'll say them again to APC people, and they just need to come together and reorganize themselves and start to pay attention.
I totally agree with you. But the point here is, when you look at during the time of Kaba, where Sylvia starts for doing in journalism or whatever, we know say Kaba government was a little bit, tolerant in terms of, yes, they make a lot of mistakes with the media, but at least there was some kind of tolerance. The APC, where Sylvia in being a member and a government officer, so that's different from a government like this, we definitely try for muzzle up the opposition. I'm not saying the opposition not get fault here, but muzzling the opposition is not a strength for a government. But Sylvia at this particular time, he in a very disadvantaged position because number one, the government of the day is stronger than Sylvia Blyden. If you know African
Let me say something, Mr. Mankuta. And it is also good that the government of the day they put pressure upon the opposition, because fear is fear. Even the opposition at one time or the other, they say don't misbehave. So all of this will happen. So we just hope as people of the country that based on all of these practices, then coming next time, people will change, will develop Sierra Leone. Okay. Because me not go say, look at the APC, say even the APC that are the angels. Now then works, then they follow them in some of the behaviors where they put in place. What would they talk for speak to power and we want change? So then they will look back. Me particularly, I want to say, damn, okay, I understand how messed up it has been. But now we go back to the drawing board. They themselves have done some stupid things that we don't expect. We need now a country. But now all of these don't establish itself. We just open them now, moving forward.
I totally agree with that. And as you know, we don't talk now this programming in particular so many times. We are actually shooting the wrong, weapons, and at the wrong people. Them at this particular time, we don't need for waste with bullets. Something we will not say, and a moving target. Now we focus and reorganize and try for reforms and get structures. Then we know say them very very effective. Like what you talk no more. I believe say the APC party, the current leadership. It not will be effective because of the cloud we hang at the aid and we the government they use against the APC party, and that's not the reason this way you see most of them don't get much for talk, because if I get a cloud where I know say probably then get for come after me because of what I don't do before. So what they do? They set mode, and when you set mode, you give the government or the opposition the opportunity for make them exploit that. Now we go to Mr. Americano. Go ahead. American will not hear you. Okay.
Good day, everybody.
Okay.
I not get much to say actually today, based on the topic.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to therefore say, as I've been saying before, the politics not alone, na politics of vengeance. And anytime we politics of vengeance, they were not controllable. It's not for even this. But even if they and not able to control us. Therefore, we will continue for students here anytime any party they in power. Now then kind here we will continue for speed. And then kind here not they take Sierra Leone go much of any time. Other than for struggle, would go be punished and would not go therefore be punished. reflecting on the time where that party they in power. So for me, let we just hope that we are in the verge of trying to make changes in Sierra Leone politically, socio-economically, let the whole thing change for the betterment of Sierra Leoneans, not for the betterment of any party anymore. Then party are then displayed with party they don't see, they don't display they no more and the same set and who that think say the right and who that think say the wrong. We all don't know say this really not doing at the development. The people they need for be developed agriculturally.
Mr. Kanu, I'm sorry for interject. I think you bring up a very good point. That make one of the projects that we and Kuroma do we are totally agree with. Unfortunately, not able to accomplish that is the ABC, attitudinal behavioral change. We all know say psychologically, person not go able for change culturally, socially, economically without changing the behavior. So the behavior of an individual a kind of a foundation for development. They say the way they think, that's why you do things. So that's what they say. The way you think, that's what you do. If you think immaturely, you behave immaturely. If you think maturely, they behave maturely. So that ABC project where the president, where it became in 2007, where it be instituted, and a very, very good project. And unfortunately, the people themselves who been in that project, they lead as another department, and they fail the government and they fail the people of Sierra Leone. Because first of all, before you change me, I need for no say you change first. Because they say the messenger is as good as the message, not so. But unfortunately, that's the problem. So let you finish.
Okay, so for come to me conclusion, Mankuta, now the thing we don't talk so. We they get programs where in theory, when you read them, you feel say, yeah, this one better don't come. But when you come to put them into practicality, usually they do with any food. Then they not even try. Like where would they talk to no more? That program, they be them for less on and on and on and on. Because anything but prosperity, therefore, for as much as possible for things what we make as to make a left corruption. What behavior have to take diversity as something will be worthwhile for the country. Because when you look at the situation, we get so much for work on diversity. Okay. You make we understand this. We all there for Poland together for Sierra Leone.
All right. All right.
But then when they end me talk, so some of them people that way they don't old. So I bet you APC kind of power. Most likely APC will do back same thing. For later even partner within SLVP they do now so because SLVP they don't partner within party APC.
All right. Thank you very much. Now we go to Adams. Adams, go ahead about Sylvia in arrest one, waiting at the implications and for the country.
Yeah, thank you, Mankuta. I think few of the commentators have all highlight the reasons for Sylvia arrest one. First of all, let me just say there was absolutely no reason for making against Sylvia, if not to silence her. Because for the SLPP, it appears as if they get or gag the entire leadership of the APC for not speaking up or coming out against them, but Sylvia. So, and seeing somebody like Sylvia appearing first of all at the Commission of Inquiry, now he represents himself as UNSO lawyer. They come out there, they begin to chastise them in so many other areas. They call them out. And Corona comes, government can declare state of emergency. So they saw an opportunity where Sylvia been give that interview where he make reference to the likes of Adebayo. And I did listen to that program there. To be fair to Sylvia, me and Sylvia don't always agree on so many things, but to be fair to him on that particular day, what did Sylvia say? Now that the government machinery, the information, just like how they talk of information dissemination, people then get certain people then where naturally, when a not person they then believe that when he talk to them, then we hear it. It make reference to this current president not answering the calls of former President Nkrumah. Where it for use, for help, for fight this thing, where it in people that we believe in President Nkrumah, they will listen, as President Nkrumah did to him during the Ebola crisis. That's what leadership is all about. So still they talk about Adebayo say, somebody like Adebayo, take for instance, it was an example that she gave. He said people that don't believe in him. So that kind of person, and whether you like his messaging or not, in time of a national crisis, reach out to her, get her, say, okay, you said reach out to Ubesu. I know we disagree on so many things, but reach out to Ubesu. That message will in send, like him or not, people that they will believe in that. That was what Sylvia said. Not so like for Sylvia go hail Adebayo. No. So then you come on and aside it. The government then go there arrest Sylvia for waiting. Say Sylvia go publish about the welfare of Palo country. That's Palo, they lock Palo now in cell with two-side toilets there and in we and all that sort of thing. PDD. But me and you know the state of Salon prison. That prisoners in a saloon, where they lock there, there is every likelihood that now they in the toilet, they sleep past early morning, they open the cell, then they go dispose of her for themselves. So what is wrong in there? What is wrong in there? That's just the simple fact.
Yeah.
Not so like for the way prisoner want for use toilets and go to open it, you go use it. No, now pockets and daily. That's the fact. That's the known fact. Human rights activists and they don't do visitations now. They will prison cells and they don't raise the issues and they time and again. When they talk about reforms within the prison sector.
Yeah.
Is that something that you arrest somebody for?
I think it's more than that, and like we say.
No. That's part of the charges than that.
Yeah,
that's
no.
part of the charges. They get 10 count charges, for which I think 4 or 5 of which get to do with libel, seditious libel, and so many other trumpet charges. But inside that sedition day, they try to tailor when they read the charges as part of the offense. Now this issue when I talk about you, this Paulo in sleeping in toilet with nine cell with toilet. That was part of it.
Yeah.
The charge I want you with conspiracy to pervert the cause of justice. What is conspiracy in there?
So do you know whether when he get for go back na courts? Because now
well, unfortunately not yet. But at the moment all I can say is they don't grant him bail. Sylvia was arrested on the 1st of May. They don't release Sylvia on the 29th of May. So for about 28 days, then they locked that woman up.
And where come on, the funny thing is, Sylvia where come on a big extra.
No, that's the whole thing. So what you don't try to do now, they don't try to embolden Sylvia. They don't try to embolden them. So if they talk small, I like to try for gag them. We are not able for silence them. He go get for talk because for her, as long as Sylvia knows the law, she speaks within the law. Now, it make it go difficult to make you fight somebody like that one. You may not like some of the things the way he they say. You may not like the manner in which he they say them, but it never broke the law.
Okay.
If that were the case, APC doing honest in time, and if we don't lock so many SLP people up, But we get for land for make we show some amount of liberal and be seen for be accommodating so people and we would think say that they say things the way we don't like. There was absolutely no reason for me to receive it. Absolutely not.
Yeah. So now we go to Mr. Gabo. Mr. Gabo, I make you be the last person because I know so you get contrary views. So what's your views?
Yeah. As always, and Mr. Gabo is
the contrary man.
The center man is not APC, is not SLPP, it's just a Sierra Leonean supporting the sitting government and any other government. APC come to power and support them because I will not sit down to see my country go down in the drain because APC is not in power or SLPP is not in power. You only
support APC if Mankota in the leader. That's all.
Yeah, we win today, tomorrow at the candidate. Yes. All right, let's come to Sylvia. Yes.
I keep this video by God's power.
Oh, you keep the one where you first tell me say where you go into power and I'm not the first person they call. You keep them?
Yeah. I don't keep all. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I don't
Well, now finish. Let it done first. Let you go because I know say you get a lot for say.
Yeah, a lot, but very
short.
Information.
Yeah,
very lot, but cogent, and we leave touching to the minds of the people. Sylvia Blyden is a very smart lady. I respected her. But one question I want to ask, maybe you will not have it, but the listeners in Sierra Leone all over the world will tend to tend to reflect into it. My question is, the arrest of Sylvia Blyden brought two significant parties together. One, the media, the SLAG in Sierra Leone, that Sylvia is a member of them and he's a journalist. Mm-hmm. I hope I'm correct.
Yeah.
And then after that, they went, or I don't know which group went into first, them or the party, the APC leadership. Also, we see them in their own group come and say, hey, this is our lady. This is one of our stronger political participants. He's a senior member of the party. And these two people are fighting one another. In other words, trying to claim ownership. So that's why gave me the thought to say, is Sylvia a politician, active and a leader, a member, one of the high-ranking politicians of APC? And if so, is he a journalist, one of the other high-ranking of the journalists? Because he has a paper, she has a paper that she produces, the awareness. And but my question now to the government is that, and to everybody, including Mankota and everybody in GPN, is that, is it what does the Constitution say about somebody, an active politician belonging to a political party, and then becoming an active journalist, running those two things together? What does the Constitution say about that?
Oh yeah.
Because when I see the politicians, the APC group, mm-hmm. I couldn't blame them yet because I don't know, and I see the journalists, I don't know, and if that is so, what are the benchmarks for Sylvia to be an active politician and an active journalist? Mm. So I want to know if one can carry two together.
Oh yeah.
If she does, what are the rules and regulations?
Yeah, on my own opinion, I tell you for free say, you can be a journalist, you be a politician. There is no constitutional, ban for say when you do this, you're not supposed to do the other. The Constitution is very, very clear. They give you the right for make you live, and journalism is a business, right? So you can do your business, you can do your politics also. And I don't see any reason why Sylvia is not supposed to be a politician because she is a journalist. It don't make sense to me, and the Constitution no actually outlines, say, the need for ban that.
Mr. Mankoda, I don't say if she don't supposed to. I just about. I have been probably in the middle of the world, and I haven't seen that yet. And I know probably there's no reason. And I want to know.
But Mr. Mankoda, can I ask this man a question?
Hold on. Kabo, You want, because you ask everybody now a question. You want for make
let me land. I think that's a good one. Let me land, then you take it to them.
Okay.
Okay. Now, so under what scenario was Sylvia arrested? As a politician, active politician, or under the APC as a senior politician, or as a journalist? So I just got in that. And we come into he's been been granted bail yesterday, I believe, and we're pondering over what might happen, why they give her a bail, what was what were the charges, did she do something, did she do anything? I mean, I look at it this way. Our people say, you know what, the case done, let us not go bully, or let us don't poke our nose on other things. If she's gone, they let her go. Let's don't get other trouble. I think that question should be on the APC party leader to give answers as to what she did. If
all right. Okay.
Also, hold on. I also land to the government of Julius Madabio to give reasons why she was arrested. But I think there is a seal there, and that's the seal that makes us ponder why we don't get the truth from the officials. So, and now we are the pundits. They left us in this middle of the game. The other opponents are saying, oh, she didn't do anything. They just used power on her. They want to silence her. And the other ones say other thing else. So this is where we are going to go. And at the end of the day, we're not going to get an answer. But there is a seal between the two. All right. So that's just my take.
All right. Thank you very much. First of all, I come because people they want to answer some of the questions. The question specifically about Sylvia. But before I begin call people there for make they able talk on that, I just want to make a few examples of Madabio was a businessman, right, and at the same time a politician. So that tells you that, yes, Sylvia can be a journalist and a politician at the same time. You can be a business person and a politician at the same time. There is no reason why one is supposed for, bar the other. Let me start with Bami, then we go to Adams. Bami, you want to say something or question or something like that?
Close to what you say, because what he asked before, I just want to help him say when you become a journalist and you become a politician, it makes you a very strong and a powerful politician, number one. And I want to ask me, say, if I the same question we ask, if it is wrong or right, constitutionally for a lawyer to be a politician. You see what I'm saying? So if Ben can be a politician, any other person in profession have a right, I don't think the constitution bar anybody from doing that. You see? So that's what they have one guy for. Letting them answer if it's wrong or right for a lawyer to be a politician.
Yeah. Okay, Adams, go ahead.
Yeah, I think what they say the same thing. There is no constitutional requirement where they tell you say when you be a journalist, you're not for be a politician. Absolutely not. There are requirements. Each of those professions, there are requirements as to. Every single one of them falls under the constitution. Will give you permission. Will tell you say you get a right to make you belong to any groupings of your choosing. So if Sylvia wants to be a journalist today, she remains a journalist. If you don't want to be there tomorrow, that's her constitutional right, wherever she wants to be. But the fact remains, say, if her right has been violated, we get to speak to that and understand, say, her rights have been violated. Period. There are no two ways about it. We current deputy ambassador to Germany, Jonathan Lee, is an SFPP person. You understand? Jonathan Lee is a journalist also. But that stop her from making no practice in journalism? No. He remains a journalist and I represent you in Germany so as deputy ambassador. So there is nothing absolutely wrong in that, Mr. Kago. The fact of the matter is that we accept it. Sylvia's rights have been violated, plain and simple. If not because of Corona, it would have been difficult to make the government arrest Sylvia for 28 days like this. But no, they have the powers of the state of emergency as declared by the president in their favor. We don't tell you, say, the government can arrest you for as long as we don't think, say, they want for whatever reason. But even the one day, the state of emergency not make provision for suspending certain rights violations there. Like in this case. You don't arrest a person. Within 72 hours, as per the law, she should be charged. but do not charge the lady, then arrest them while in detention, and then they look for evidences. How fair is that?
Yeah,
Sometimes we have to speak to some of them facts and they.
It's called emotional reaction, you know, and the government's not supposed to get the emotional reaction and they, because at the end of the day, now everybody they look up to for protect everybody. So, and I don't know, but Madabio is losing patience of himself.
You cannot say that, and this is the point, Makota and others. You cannot when this man ran on a clean slate, that what in APC do, they did so many unconstitutional things. They used the judiciary to get away with so many things. He spoke on the well of parliament. The world had him. That never in his watch would that happen. 6 months later, now a different person. So in other words, the president says one thing in public, and what he does is completely the opposite. So what kind of president will we get? For make you give assurance, say, nobody will use this constitution to get away with what and things they need to get away with. You can't uphold the law and restore constitutionality. But all of a sudden now a different president now we get.
Yeah, and American will be talk about the vengeance now we get for pull out of with politics when everybody say, well, if you don't do if you don't do me this work, they can't retaliate. Now in some of them here they happen. You know, and if not that circle they would they go, they go.
And I agree with him.
Yeah.
I agree with him completely.
We have to stop
they'll be there 5 years, 10 years down the line. But what happens when they are no longer there? The other people themselves will can go say, well, who we don't suffer this. Who can't take on. And then Sierra Leone continues to suffer.
Yeah. Well, if anybody gets anything.
Yeah, Mankota, what do you need for the American? First of all, I challenge the fact that if you're a professional forcing like journalists, other kinds of profession, when you get to be a professional politician, I don't mean just the politicians and way they're on the sideline. I mean, when you get into the politics, like a parliamentarian, a minister, and so on and so forth, you get for, because of conflict of interest, you get for give up taxing them, declare your assets, and pass on the business to other person, we could run a person, other than yourself. Because if yourself involved, then your political interests are going to perpetuate into your own business. So you don't get conflict of interest right there where your politics now personal as politics. And that's a lot of it is happening in Sierra Leone.
Mr. Kabo, you missed the point, sir. She's not holding any government appointments as it is.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking.
No. Now, when you hold government appointments.
Hold on, sir. This is a general comment in regard to conflict of interest. If you look into the principles of conflict of interest, you find it there.
It's a different thing. It's a different requirement, Mr. Kabo.
No.
Whether it's Sylvia or not, they're completely different requirements. Conflict of interest only kicks in. No, I'm just saying. What we try to enlighten with listeners. Conflict of interest only kicks in when you take. I understand that.
Hold on. Una do one after the other, one at a time.
The conflict of interest only kicks in when you take up a government job. She is not a government appointee as it is. At the time when he be the APC, he not be the work as a journalist. So now she's no longer serving the government. She remains a politician.
And that's how they talk.
So there's no conflict of interest there.
Well, let me put it this way. I'm not referring to Sylvia Blyden. I'm talking on the general politics of Sierra Leone. They happen.
It's happening everywhere, even here in America. It's happening everywhere.
Not so particularly, they happen everywhere.
No, it happens.
I mean, with the Americans, with the follow-up. So, they can't tell me, say they happen. Right now, you get a senator who has been kind of done, try to do something with this COVID-19. He's in court right now.
Yes, that's a different issue. No, but it conflicts the issues. You don't conflict the issues. The senator is a serving member where they accuse say he may have been guilty guilty of insider trading. That's my area of specialty. He may have been guilty of insider trading. That means that he are aware of something that can happen with the stock market. He decided for go sell in shares before in the apple. That's insider trading. The man occupied the position. He's privy to information. He occupied the position. Well, now the point there is, Sylvia and others, they not occupy the position. Now, make I give an example of Jonathan Lee. Jonathan Lee is a certain government member, so he should not be seen to be practicing his trade. When his government is no longer there, he remains a politician. He can still be a journalist.
Hold on. Okay, Adams, give a chance for make it complete. I make it complete.
Oh, now, Mr. Adams, did it talk?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Pastor. I'm kind of named as you, Mr. Pastor. Sorry. Mr. Adams, we all, I don't know which side you deal with. But
it is not UK.
Now, all right. Okay, the reason we are not, the reason why they perpetrate some mandate, not because not politicians. You look at it up and down, it's not to be politician, you don't get anything to do with America.
No. Mr. Americano, they're not charged him because they're not accused him because he's a politician. They accuse him because
no, of course I say them put here and because he's a politician, that's why they them bring them kind of charges and they are against them. If he's not to be politician in the first place, they're not be forget anything to say anyway.
If he's a politician, he have no position. They can't do anything to him. But if he gets into a government position, then he has responsibility.
Exactly.
No, but we're not ordinary politicians.
Oh, what is going on? A lot. All right, Adam, hold on. I'll call you back. I think I lost everybody. Hold on. I'll call you back. All right, guys. It seems like I lost everybody. Me Skype just go off. Let me see. All right. Let me see if I go able to call everybody again. All right.
Can I explain to you? That's very petty for you. How you think so politically and otherwise? So you want to say that is you don't understand the reason to make Sierra Leone politicians in order to progress after politics because they have no career. Even they claim to have all this fancy degree, even when they are ordinary politicians with no office, they don't practice nothing. So when they don't come on a government, if they're not thief, you know what they happen? They have nothing to do. Even the education when they get, don't forget about that. You don't understand, eh? So, as you are a politician, nothing not by you for any type of profession where you are. But you are bad when you are giving government political, office, like a member of parliament, even member of parliament, they can go practice their job here. Or like a minister. Or you get some offices where not government office where will conflict them too then that's an issue. But on those grounds, because the politician, so you want to say if me not a politician, so I'm not for the other thing. I'm for the state politician, nobody pays me. Is that what you're saying?
Well, here is the thing. For let's round up quickly. I think, Mr. Cabo, your question was very, very interesting, and it makes a lot of sense because we did see the discussion we generate. But for the people the way they watching social media and the one who they listening the radio, being a politician is not actually a profession. It's not in the first place actually. But you can be a politician. You do any other thing what you want to do. The difference here is when you be a government officer, and you practice certain profession where they conflict with your job as a government official, That is where the problem is.
Thank you. This is the whole thing.
The thing, that's the constitution come in, but the constitution not buy you for be a politician and a journalist or for be a whatever. No, that's a different. So even the example
if you serve in government,
yeah,
that's now a whole different picture. That's where conflicts of interest come. And that's what I was talking about.
Okay, now let me give you now one minute for let we round up. Let we start with Mr. Abdul. Mr. Abdul, what's in your last word on this issue of Sylvia Blyden and how you think say the government will do a little bit better for make sure see transparency day na the system.
Well, I just wish that for drop the charges and let Sylvia let do what's in profession. Like which everybody don't say. She was a politician at one time. Now she's a journalist. She was a journalist, and then she handed over the newspaper. Then now he don't come back. Let people do his job freely and fairly. Make them not the intimidator. Let's just make sure he do investigative journalism and anything we write in paper or we go on radio, he accuse the government, he has something to back it up. But now that we know she's been arrested for 29 days, locked up, no charges, and based on flimsy charges, I think therefore be pragmatic and look at the civil equity and the guy in London say now because of this state of emergency. I mean, if they don't let them not find way in for check them. Let's see if they're able to do in job and as a citizen of Sierra Leone.
Okay.
The only thing I will add now, I hope say you will keep the tape. Because Mr. Cabo said it will chop fine for APC. Even though APC ruled for 20-something years, Mr. Cabo has never said anything good about APC.
All right, you time not done. You time not done. All right, now we go to Adams. Adams, go ahead.
Cabo is laughing.
Sincerely speaking, the whole thing, they're not going to drop the charges. Because for them, if they drop the charges, they will look at as if it's a defeat. So what's going to happen now, when they grant Sylvia bail, the conditions that when they put inside the bail, that don't tell you, see, they are not interested in anything but to gag her up for making her for talk. Tell and say, enough for make no comments on social media concerning this, concerning that, enough for write anything about government activities and other stuff. So you're literally trying to gag her up. This government then just seems so, I don't know whose phrase that for you. They're just about to opposition. You not foresee anything that goes against them. This is not the reason why when Corona comes, they find it difficult for make them reach out to opposition people and empower them. Say, let us all come together and work. Because for them, it's going to be sabotage. If information leak, even when I told themselves to themselves, information still a leak. If something goes out, now the opposition, then they want for sabotage it. But it's not. Politics and democracy, especially in our case, we are a private democracy. Allow the woman make it do in work. Allow every other person. You get the power. You get the bigger arm. Allow the lady, let her practice her trade. But gagging her up, it's not going to stop information from going out to the public.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me go to Americano, 1 minute.
The allegations who they make against women, enough for that take long for make them make any the jurisdiction not for take that long. But 29 days is a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
You tell allegations where they come, but try to find out what she has done wrong. That's not the first thing that we not to be allowed for lay happen. But they don't keep that lady there for 29 days. We not come up with anything so that they go know what he for do. So that they stop, and that was not fair.
Yeah, let me go to Bami, 1 minute.
Let me go out. Everybody don't say the same to all the try forget to, but beyond that, I think they don't reach them now. Let some of we citizens them they take the government of the day to an higher court. Maybe if I'm in Sylvia's position, I will figure out is it possible for me to take them to ECOWAS court for damages, At least now that me go suggest if she can do that, I think she has to consider that, because now the Sierra Leone court not go get no real justice. So if they're violating rights and lock them up for that much of time, I think it is time for Sierra Leoneans for they start taking people and government officials in that country to higher court for let them pay for damages.
All right.
That's what I can answer.
Yeah, let me go to Mr. Kabo. Mr. Kabo.
Yeah, what I have to say to all sympathizers and the country as a whole, and Sylvia Blyden in general, I wish her all the best, and I hope she gets over this in an appropriate manner, and that she will put in practice whatever difficulties she came through to, and if they are fair to her, she can bring them to the public and use them against whoever the opponents. If they are not fair, then it's left with her now to make a decision. But I know very well, as a doctor, a PhD holder, you can judge between right and wrong.
No. Sylvia is not a PhD holder. Sylvia
is not a PhD.
No, medical.
Okay, whatever what they call her doctor, Sylvia, right?
Yeah, medical, medical doctor.
Medical doctor. Okay, an MD. All right, that's good. Thank you for your correction.
Okay. All right. Well, we don't reach to the end of this program, and waiting on my last word on this particular issue, Sylvia issue. The government welcome he preach on transparency and accountability, should practice the same thing. And as a citizen of that country, I not go one for make us say me company citizen, that they treat them this way, all on for 29 days, and it will be me tomorrow. It will be any of we tomorrow. It will be you where they watch we tomorrow. So we all get for condemn the government for make sure say transparency prevail in the country, because this not a promise way this particular government puts. Now the reason that one day way been they chastise the APC government, say they're not transparent and then they misuse the judiciary system. And now if the SLPP way been they chastise the APC, now they can do the same thing, probably worst. And that would get for trust now. This circle of retaliation because Mr. X, government X, we don't do this to me, so therefore why I come and they can't do government Y, the same thing. It not will help a country. It not will help we at all. So definitely to me, if there is no tangible charges or any conviction against Sylvia Blyden, the government need to apologize to Sylvia, because they don't violate in human rights. That's not great at all. So now this I just get for the government. There is a times when you as a government get for take the high road. Not to everybody, and especially in this social media time, not to everybody you get for go after, because at the end of the day, that they distract you from the very purpose way to make they elect you. That is for make sure say the country is developing, the country they go the way it's supposed to go. If you all the time they go on after your opponent them, that in itself is an entire function nowadays, where probably they take you away from the most important thing that we get for do, and people then get for talk. When they talk about Adebayo was nothing. Adebayo was nothing. Absolutely. This government made Adebayo who he is today. This particular government. Yes, Adebayo they cause, Adebayo they do this, Adebayo they do that. If the government actually been take the high road and focus on waiting then give them for make them do, sometimes Adebayo for be don't set more long time. But because if I they do something on social media and I they see say people then they react onto that and the government they react onto that, I want for make I become fame. And they continue for doing, and they do the worst thing. The government actually created who Adebayo is today. So the need for grow up, the need for focus on the governing side instead of social media side. Yes, I know say any government when they pay attention on social media, is doomed for fail. But at least make take 60% of you functions and just for go after people the way they talk on social media. So I just want to thank you very much. We'll go see you back next week, the same time, the same place. Good night.